Okay, so I found this article from USA Today. Donuts in space. Strange
Mm,
Martian rock formation shows up in
yeah.
the rover images. The vast frontier of space is full of surprises, including apparently those that come in the shape of breakfast
I'm not
pastries.
sure that we needed to get this introduction. The universe is full of surprises.
I mean,
Hey,
of all the things you could say about the universe too, like it's expansive, it's full of mystery. We are yet to scratch the surface of what we know. Not it's full of surprise. It's a bit colloquial, I think, is the
also,
issue.
is that really like you're wasting time? This is a real getting paid by the word sort of
Yeah.
introduction because
Webster's dictionary
the
defines space.
universe, you've heard of it. You understand what it is. I'm pretty sure we don't have to cover off in a general sense what the universe is.
NASA's
Mm,
Perseverance Mars rover
yes.
captured the image on Friday, which the Search for Extraterrestrial Institute (SETI)
Mhm.
Institute then shared to Twitter on Monday. Well, have they shared it to Twitter? How did you see it, Will? How did you possibly see it?
Because it made the news, Charlie.
Uh,
It made the actual news because it happened in space on Mars. So they don't just cover that on Twitter.
in it, a large circular rock with a sizable hole in the middle can be seen
Mm,
resting on the planet's surface. Around it, smaller stone debris of the same color are scattered. And so they've got a picture of it, and
mm,
it looks like something you might find at the beach, like an old bit of cuttlefish or something. The
mm.
rock is very white. It's not like a perfect circle. It's like a misshapen circle, almost like an ear shape, but it does have a distinct hole right in the middle of it, and then there's some smaller pieces around it. So the SETI Institute said in the tweet that the object, which they called, what do they call it, Will?
The donut?
The donut shaped rock. Don't scientists, isn't this where they have fun and they name something
Right.
after like the janitor or, you know, I
Or
mean,
something scientific. Like it should be, like some
like Alpha
old.
Centauri,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like we're going to call this one the rock that looks like a donut, the donut shaped rock.
is there a Latin version of that? What's Latin for donut? Donaticus rockicus. That may be a large
Mm,
meteorite alongside smaller pieces, meaning it could have
okay.
originated somewhere
Mm,
else before landing on Mars. Here's what I'll say about Mars
mhm.
from this rover
Yeah.
photo. Not as red as we're told. Actually looks pretty brown.
I mean,
I
it
mean,
appears to be red because of the light and the gases and stuff, I assume, and the way that
is
we
that right?
view it rather than it actually being like in the same way as water doesn't appear to be blue. Like when you look at the earth, like it comes across as being blue, but if you look at
But,
water from like it doesn't look the same,
but
from the
generally,
top as
right?
it.
Like if you had to describe Earth in only one or two
Mm,
colors, what
hmm.
would you say? I mean, it's the green and blue planet.
Yeah.
And even
That's
on
how
it,
you
like we see,
describe it, but it's not like when I walk out the front of my house, all I see is green and blue.
no, think
Like,
about it.
so
Like,
if,
I think that's true. If I think about the Earth, and I'm doing it right now,
okay,
green and blue. And I'm looking at my window, I see blue sky, I see green
yeah.
trees, green and blue planet.
But don't you see a lot of brown and grey
That's
and
because you
other
built a
colors?
house on our lovely blue, green and blue planet, dude. But the
Yeah, but a
planet
lot of
itself,
like the dirt and stuff is like again brown. There's lots of desert, like for a
but
start.
mainly green and blue. I said predominantly, not what like every color
Yeah,
spectrum.
but my point is when you look at the Earth from a distance, yes, you just basically see green and blue, right? That's like because of that. And when you look from Mars, you see red. But it doesn't mean when you get up close, it isn't going to look a bit browner.
I suppose on
Yeah,
the specific spot where
yeah.
a meteor landed. Okay. Perseverance launched on its current Mars mission on July 30 in 2020 and
Mm,
landed in February 2021 after traveling about 300 million miles over 7 months. The expedition was planned to last about 2 years, though past rover journeys have indicated it may take longer. So Iona at the moment is obsessed with like the moon and outer space, and
mm,
she's got like a little NASA spacesuit, and we read books on the moon. And she's asking me questions that I can't answer. And
mm.
if you had to, off the top of your head, say when was the last time man was on the moon, would you? What would you say?
I mean, we didn't go very often. I know that.
No, but did we do other missions after Neil Armstrong?
I think that. Oh,
I mean, according to Superman 2, we
hmm.
did, because that's where the astronauts
Yeah,
got
I'm trying to
attacked
work
by
out whether
Zod and
I'm
his
getting my
henchmen.
history confused with Superman 2 as well. Um, Look, I know that like it isn't one of those things where we keep going back to the moon. I don't think that that's like
We
it's
found
not,
out what we needed. It's
yeah,
grey.
We had a look
That's
around.
pretty
It
much
was
what
grey.
The restaurant.
It was grey and bouncy, but probably not worth all the fuss.
In
There's
fact,
a
we name it grey bouncy thing.
There's a flag up there now if you want to go and visit that, I guess. I don't know. I think we went back, right? You normally go back. I don't know. That's a very good question. I think we went back, but then we didn't go back.
Well, because
very often.
Iona was like, "Can we go to the
Yeah.
moon?" And I'm like, "Sure, if you want." She's like, "How many people have been to the moon?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't know." When
Well,
was the last
can we
time?
find out now? Did you find out
Yeah.
at the time, or we're
No,
going
I'm
to find
looking
out
it up
right now?
Because I only thought of it then, but here we go. Okay, it was 1972. The Apollo 17 astronauts splashed down the Apollo 17 mission. Why did we stop going to the moon? That's the question we all know.
I
the
mean,
answer
probably
to.
expensive and dangerous, and we'd found out all we needed to find out.
So the Apollo 11, that was Neil Armstrong's one. That was the one we all love.
I was
We haven't put
on
it-
my plane to Townsville the other day. The co-pilot was called Michael Collins, which made me laugh because Michael Collins, of course, was there was the three astronauts who went on the original mission: Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins, of course, who never got to walk on the moon. He had to stay in the spaceship.
I never knew that was his name. I thought you were talking about the Irish Revolutionary.
It was
played by
also
Liam
the
Neeson
Irish
in the movie.
Revolutionary. he's a
Michael Collins.
He's a Highlander, and now he's a co-pilot on a Qantas Link flight to Townsville.
Okay, so the reason we're not being back to the moon is we built space stations.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we can just launch shit from there. We don't need to go
Okay.
all the way to the moon. And it's boring. Who the fuck wants to be on the
Nothing
moon?
there, mate. Like once
No
you've seen
Wi-Fi.
it, once you've seen the pictures, mate.
Yeah. Okay. So it began working. The Perseverance began working to its primary goal of collecting samples 2 months after landing. The rover, which scientists say will travel. Who gives a shit about the rover? We don't care about that. All right, that's it. That's the
Okay.
donuts.
Yep.
There are donuts in outer space, and that's it for TOEFOP. I'm To see the full video, join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/TOEFOP.